Okay, so I really hope that you've been making some progress with chest hooping and with shoulder hooping. Now I'm going to move into a few moves that you can incorporate with that. Breaks and stalls are really easy to learn, and once you get comfortable doing some of the basics, you can move into some more advanced moves. The other bonus of learning these moves is that when you, or if like you drop the hoop off of your chest, so you feel like the rotation and the momentum start to slow down, you can pick it back up again and just kind of take a little bit more control back. So these are breaks. They are literally catching the hoop and pushing them back. You can also do some breaks outside of the hoop. And yeah, they look really cool and they're super easy. So for this, you might struggle with a really heavy weighted hoop. You actually kind of want something with a little bit of bounce. Otherwise you will get bruises. Now, when I learned to do this, I did learn with a heavy hoop. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it doesn't really matter. So to kind of get used to this, you want to have the hoop on the small of your back, and just start by doing some basic waist hooping. I've been using the heavy hoop for so long to teach these tutorials that actually using this lighter hoop feels a bit weird. Now, before we were talking about getting used to putting the arms into the gap, now I want you to get used to putting the arms outside of that gap. So we briefly touched on that a few lessons ago. And this is going to come in handy now because you're going to put the hand on the outside of the hoop and push it back the other way. So obviously this requires you to be comfortable somewhat hooping both ways. So when the hoop is against your belly, get that hand, put it in front, put it straight down and push the hoop back the other way. It doesn't actually require too much of a push to do. So just look for that timing, get that hand in. And see if you can actually just go from one side to the other. It's good fun. So getting the hand on the outside like that and just pushing backwards and forwards. Now the other way that you can do a break or a stall is with your hands inside of the hoop. You're still breaking from the outside, i.e. you're touching the outside of the hoop with your hand, but your arms are inside of the body. And this works best really when the hoop is on your shoulders or your chest hooping. So you can start obviously by shoulder hooping, and then when you see that space, pushing it back the other way. And the best way to learn really is actually just to pass the hoop back and forth from both hands. So you're kind of getting your hand here and pushing it against your chest, and then bringing the other hand up and pushing it against your chest, and just kind of passing it between the two hands. Now, to make this a little bit easier, I tend to bounce down with the hoop and turn my body, and then push back, turn and push back, and turn and push back, like that, to get a really nice rhythm going. You can use your hands whichever way. If you want to use your wrists, you can use your wrists. If you want to break back with a hand like this, that's fine. If this feels better, that's cool too. Just focus on that momentum and just getting it kind of smooth. So if you're finding that the hoop's dropping, bring your elbow up, because what the elbow is doing is catching it and keeping the hoop nice and straight, i.e. it's not like this. So use that to catch it, turn in and push back. So this is what it looks like from the side and from the back and from the other side. Now you can also go from doing these kind of breaks to incorporating some of the outside breaks that we've learned. So if you, once you've pushed back with whichever hand you feel most confident with, once you push back with a hand and you're going to catch it in this one, bring that hand out, bring it into the space on the outside of the hoop and nudge it back with the outside. So that's a little bit like this. So I brought that hand out and I'm pushing back. So I brought the hand out, whoop, and I'm pushing back. With the other hand. So this is why it's so important that you feel comfortable with the rhythm, because no matter whether you're paddling from the outside of the hoop or paddling from the inside of the hoop, ooh, right? That rhythm stays the exact same, and it just tells you when to pull your hands out and when to catch the hoop, push it back. So really get used to this. Try and get used to doing that as well. You'll see, because the hoop's high up, I've actually got to push it back with my elbow or whatever this is. Just get used to that rhythm. If it goes around your body a couple of times, i.e. you push and then you're like, okay, boom, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to get it perfect first time. It's about getting used to the rhythm, used to the momentum, used to how much you need to push the hoop. So hopefully you will learn how to push back on your waist, bring it up, catching it like this, and then bringing that arm back out, but while you're chest or shoulder hooping. Play around with this. Get used to the timing. It feels amazing and it looks great, and it's also great for just giving yourself a little bit of a break. If you're in the middle of flow, or you're finding that your chest or your shoulder hooping, you find that the hoop's just falling down a little bit, just bring it into some of these. Make sure you get that hoop nice and straight, because you might want to push it back and then go back into spinning. So you obviously don't want to learn pushing it at an angle, because it's going to be so much harder for you to start chest hooping or shoulder hooping again. Same obviously when you're waist hooping. It's a little bit easier to hit it back straight because your arm's just straight. But yeah, I hope you get on well with that. It's quite a fun little exercise to learn. It's something that I routinely come back to as just to drill, because it's just an essential skill, and can't get enough of it really. It feels really good to do. So I hope that you found this tutorial helpful, and I will see you in my next video.